All right. So today we're looking at the sine rule. Right? Cosine rule. Let's do a quick review there. Cosine rule. Right? So cosine rule. If we had two lines, A and B, and the angle in the middle, and you want to find C, cosine rule, right? So that will be C squared. You want to find C. C squared is A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. That's cosine rule, right? So cosine rule, two lengths and the angle in the middle, and you want to find the opposite length, cosine rule, right? Cosine rule could also be used if you have 1, 2, 3 lengths and you want to find the angle, right? That's what we did last week. So you have to figure out now when to use the appropriate rule, okay? And we also did right angle triangles, right? Here's the hypotenuse, right? Here was your, if that's the angle, here is the opposite and adjacent, right? And we had a few rules. And remember, I told you, you could basically get Pythagoras theorem from here, right? So h squared is equal to opposite squared plus e squared minus 2. Oh, sorry, right, the opposite. Right? What I was trying to say is that if you were to plug in, let's say C is 90, and you plug in O and A as these two, you'll get back this rule in, right? Because cosine 90 is 0, and this will disappear. Okay? So I'm just trying to show you that these two lengths. And also, you have your sine, cos, tan. Right? Right? OL, another hour of something amazing. Right? Okay. So those are some of the rules. Today we're gonna take a look at sine rule. Right? Again, all these are for non-right angle triangles, right? Right? So I want to remember how to label up. Remember, lowercase letters for length, uppercase letters for angles, right? Right. So opposite to this A, capital E. Opposite to this B, capital B, opposite C, right? Uppercase. So what that means there is what that means there is that once you have the lengths, opposite angles, this is basically how you label a triangle. When do you use sine rule now? Sine rule obviously is when you don't have these conditions. So to use sine rule, these are the conditions. Number one, you must have angles and opposite lengths. Right? Once you have angle, opposite length, sine rule. The next condition is if you have more angles than lengths. So if you recognize the question has more angles than lengths, sine rule. Okay? What does sine rule look like? A over sine E. Right? A over sine of the angle is equal to B over sine of B. Or you could even include C over sine of C. Anyone could work. Okay? Any of these ratios could work. So you need length, opposite angle, length, opposite angle. If you have these two, solve it. If you have these two, solve them. All right? So I want you to remember that. Okay. Right? And then when I copy it down, we're going to try an example. What time on this side? That's for unbreak. And to see netball or football on the same time. Football going on. And football. So we know how to choose which one to play.
No, they don't charge.
Can I see the news and one will go on? That's very hard, but you know what now? They one school account. Right? Copy it up, and then we're gonna take a look at how to prove this rule, right? Huh? Hey, everything is degrees. Ready? Come on, ready online. I'll do this next example here. Right? I should say more angles and lengths or equal to. To be more specific, angles is more than or equal to lengths. Right? That just to be a little more specific. All right, so let's do it. So if you look here, you would recognize you have two angles and one length. So you have more angles and length. That's number one. Next, you have length, opposite angle, length, opposite angle. So once you have that, and they ask you to find opposite length or opposite angle, sine rule. Okay? You'll notice we don't have the two lengths that make the angle. We don't have two lengths and we don't have the angle in the middle. Although we can find it, we still don't have two lengths. Okay? So by recognizing that we have more angles than lengths, we could definitely know it's sine rule. So we write the formula A over sine A is B over sine B. I want you all to follow properly because some of you all struggle not in picking the formula, but in making the subject of the formula, right? If you have to solve x. So let's start here. X is A. Opposite to x is 30. So it's x over sine 30. X over sine 30. And then here will be a B, which is 4 over sine 80. Right? Length, opposite angle. Length, opposite angle. And then cross multiply now. Whenever you have two fractions equal sign, cross multiply. So you'll get x sine 80 is 4 sine 30. My advice to you, don't work it out as yet. Right? Only when you make x the subject, then you work it out. So you don't round off. So we're moving across sine 80. Right? Remember, this is multiplied. So you're moving multiplied across. Right? Multiplied across to become divide. Now you can put that in a calculator and tell me what you get. I have a calculator today. Make sure your calculator, add maths people, make sure your calculator say in degrees, right? All right, I got 2.03. Anybody else got up? Yeah. right, online. So I always wanted to remember after you choose it, length, opposite angle, cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you'll be shade. If you want to solve for length, move across sine, whatever. If you want to solve for angle, move across the length and then move across sine. Right? I'll show you what that's now. Right? Take your time when making the subject of the formula. Remember in these here, we had to work them separately, right? Let's not avoid a little error. Any questions online? I want to work right here. So I'll leave all the rules, so we'll talk about the rules. Michael, pay attention. Michael? Michael? Oh. Find X F, please. Find X.
So the angle by the x is 45 degrees. The angle by the x.
That's 70 degrees and I 50
Oh.
degrees.
Okay.
Online, send your answers there, please. So I think I answer message. Right, just like this, just follow all the steps, right? Nice. Then I was not really fancy. Let's stop with those. Then we'll come out of a so they're out trouble. So you can repeat you are on. You know, yeah. What time you okay. Hello. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, yeah, I know. I check. But also, but you get what I put in that one. I can say you can say I know, or I thought you had. And follow, send them. Right. Oh, you're not 60 degrees? Sorry, I write a little bigger. Right? But it's 50 degrees and 70 degrees. That's how the board is the other now. That side of the board is the other thing. Right? It's 70 degrees and 50 degrees. Right? Let's see what you got. So again, we're using A over sine A is B over sine B. So A is 14. It don't really matter which is A, right? But I choose A as 14 over sine of the opposite angle is B, which is X over sine 50. And then cross multiply X sine 70 is 14 sine 50. Then you make X the subject, carry across sine 50. Sorry, sine 70. And you'll get your answer. Right? I got 11.4 like most people. Very good. Right? Can you have the two significant figures, right? That okay with that? Right, let's just try one more now where instead of finding a length, I'm going to ask you to find an angle. So remember, same steps. When you reach here, you have to get rid of the divide both sides by the length and then move across sine. Okay, and you'll get sine inverse, right? Take your time with this one here. It's the exact same principle. Check and see if you're using the rule and so on. That's 50 degrees, right? And let's call this one theta. I'll give you here, that's 25 meters, and I'll give you here 10 meters. Right? I want you to try your best and find theta. Take your time. Let's see how you handle making this up to the formula. Right, nice, Yana. Send the angles, right? Right, do it in a few more answers, right? Perfect. All right, let's see what you got now. All right, let's see what you got now. All right, let's see. So same principle, right? We need length, opposite angle. So that's 25 over sine theta, length, opposite angle, 10 over sine 50. Cross multiply. Whenever you cross multiply, right? Whatever is unknown should always stay on the left side, right? So I don't know theta. So I put in 10 sine theta here. And 25 sine 50 on the right side. Okay? Again, I want to make theta the subject. So I have to get rid of 10 and sine in that order. I can't get rid of sine first because 10 is on the outside. So I'm moving 10 here. And I will get 25 sine 50 all over 10. If you want, you can work it out in a calculator. But I would prefer if you don't do it so you don't have to round up too much. Now, when you move across sine, you'll get sine inverse of the whole thing. Again, if you don't want to write this whole thing, no problem. Okay? You can work it out and put the value in here. So that'll be 25 sine 50 all over 10. Now, when you go to the calculator, you'll get a more accurate value. Okay? So the calculator gives an error. It's probably the way of putting the value. Oh, wait, no. You know what happened? I make it up. That's happened. Right? I probably make this value too small. Sorry about that. So let's make it 70 meters. Okay? That's happened. I made it up and I made the angle length too small, so it's not realistic. Probably the way you put it in. Right? So maybe it wasn't realistic, right? I just gonna play with 10 just to make sure. Yeah, error. Right? So let's change it, please, and use 7. So Gianna, how you gonna answer? You got a nice looking answer. This is 15.9 degrees. Okay, sorry about that. The next one is a past paper, so I wouldn't make it up, right? Right, but once you reach here and you got a 10 underneath and you have this, I'm okay with that. All right? So the length I put was too small. All right? So we're going to take a look at the past paper now. In the past paper, it's not going to tell you which route to use, right? So I am going to ask. Good. Go. Any questions on number 2 and 3 online? Anybody? Normally, okay, nice. Michael, you okay with number 2 and 3? Anissa? Wait, who's iPhone? Put your name on iPhone.
Should
Was that it?
Chanel.
Oh, okay. If we can change your name, change it now because when I'm marking the rule and calling this. If we can change it, if we can't, that's all right. All right. So we're going to try one here. There's a past paper, right? What you will recognize with the past paper is, watch it here. They're going to combine 2 triangles in one. So you have to work with one of the triangles. Hold on, eh? Okay, that's. Oh, no, I want to share it with me. No. I want to share it with everybody. Right, what this one here? So we start in here. It's our first question here. In the handout is on page 163. I'm gonna zoom up there for earlier. No, in this well. Yes, log in. Wait, about next as well. Right. So what you see earlier? What you will recognize here is 2 triangles. The first thing that they want you to find is QS. QS is here to here. Right? So how do we know which triangle to use? Well, you have to look for the triangle with more information. What triangle has more information? Triangle 1 or triangle 2? Triangle 1. Online, you're seeing that? Triangle 1 has more information. So what you do in your notebook, draw triangle 1 alone. right? So ignore this part here. Draw triangle 1 and then see which rule you're going to use to find QS. Let's call QSX. And then do the same thing with part 2. Ignore part 3 and 4. I didn't teach you those things as yet, right? Right? Question, what's the rule we're going to use to find part 1? Let's pick somebody online, right? Or I want to stay home, all right? Like pick Dimitri.
Cosine rules.
Oh gosh, who said it out there?
No, that was me. That was Dimitri.
Oh, you're very good, Dimitri. I answer so fast.
I had already, no?
All right, very good. So part 1, cosine rule. And after you find part 1, use it to help you in part 2. Okay? So everybody try part 1 and 2, please. Right? Ignore part 3 and 4. I didn't give you those formulas as yet. Everybody, right? Work it out, message your answer. Please. Any answer? Right, but just part one and two, right? Get to it, Phil. Part one wasn't really on part two. The one to find an angle, right? You want to find an angle and look at what you have. You have length, and you have 30 and opposite angle. And you have QS now, which is whatever you get. Right, and which one? What angle you want to find? Angle of T. That's opposite. So if you have length and opposite, you use it. Sine rule, right? So part one, cosine rule, part two, sine rule. I'm gonna do it just now. Very good. Elena with Ileana. Right, I'm gonna tighten board after, right? She working it out. I finished already. Didn't finish yet? Wait, message in Soraya. Open a message in Soraya. Okay, hurry up, work it out. I'm waiting on you. All right, so I'm going to board and start to work it out. So I'm working with the first triangle first. Notice I drew the triangles separately. Here, they want us to find x here. So two lengths, angle in the middle, cosine rule. Right? You don't really get marks or right in the formula because it's in your book already. But you know you're using this, so it's x squared is 9 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 by 9 by 12 cosine 60. Right? And I showed you how to work it out in the calculator. Put the bracket here so you don't read it wrong. And put your bracket here and work it out. How much you got for x squared? X squared or x? X squared is 1, and then x will be the square root of 117, which is 10.8 meters. Okay, so I know here, so I'm writing it here now, 10.8. Right, most people should have that. Why? Some messages going there. Right, good job, Risha. Right, good job, Risha. $10.8, Michael, Dimitri sent something nice. Navia, good job. Good job, Alyssa. Go for the next one now. Jenny sent both of them. Good job, Jenny. Shell sent both of them. Have it looking real fancy, real good, nice. I like how you send all the angles. Gianna, nice, good job. You know, you saw length so far, and Eliana. Eliana, good job. Right? For those who didn't get a chance to work this out, I'm giving you an extra 2 minutes. Like Vishish, can I see your answer, please, Vishish, for this second part? Good job, Malini. Vishish, answer I am. Both of you. Send an answer, please. What's the rule we're using here against Saraya? Right? What's the rule we're using to find the angle at T? Saraya, you there? Or should I call him mommy? Hello, Saraya. Yes, Saraya. I'm waiting. I want to know which rule you're using here. And I want to send me your answer. You and Vishish. Hurry up. 1 minute again. Vishish, are you done? Yes, no, okay. Hurry up. Good job, Avi. Avi, don't send it to everybody. Don't see it. Hurry up, last minute. Right. Time up. Vishish. What's your answer? Right. Good job, Vishish. Well, I can't tell you. I don't have to pick from her. Let me see if you actually write that. I know you have your phone, right? Right. So let's work this out. It will be 10.8 over sine theta. Theta is the angle, right? And then 13 over sine 40. You can only work this out if you take the info from here and transfer it here. That's the only way you can work it out, right? And then cross multiply, you'll get 13 sine theta is 10.8 sine 40. Move across the 13, you'll get 10.8 sine 40 over 13. Right? And then you make sine the subject, carry across the sine, and you get sine inverse 10.8 sine 40 all over 13. Right? And most people got hold on, now I can't see. Right, now I got it. Without rounding off, I got 32 points. Okay, good job. Most people got it, right? Very good. Let's try next one now. That's why you're recording, not explaining this one. Right? Still on me happen till 7. That's try this one here. This is on page 162. What is it? This one. Right? I'm on it. Ready? I'm on it. Right? So here we have a triangle and we have two lengths and the angle in the middle. So it means that we're using cosine rule. So this is what we're trying to find. And these will be the two values going in here and the opposite angle is here. Right? Remember when you're working it out, you work out here and you work out here. Right? Then you minus the values, you'll get this. Carry across the square, you get square root, and this is the answer. Now, if you have a triangle like this, and you have length, opposite angle, we use sine rule instead. Length, opposite angle, length, opposite angle. And cross multiply, carry across 13, then move across sine, we get sine inverse. You work this out, you'll get your angle. Nice. We have a triangle and we have length and angle in the middle. That we use in sine. So Good morning, can you? iPhone, okay, iPhone, just on your full name, right? Oh yeah, try that, pay attention, eh? It might be Pythagoras theorem, it might be right angle rules, right? Look at the shape first. Try quick. Double, double, I finished. Right, so if you look at the first one, they want you to get. They want you to get here, RS. So in order to get RS, what we're going to do, we have no angles. Except the big triangle, sorry, the triangle is 90, right? What can we do? Anybody with ideas? Anybody with ideas there? We want to get that small length there, RS. Which triangle do we focus on? Do we focus on triangle 1, triangle 2, or the entire triangle? Like Eliana said, Pythagoras theorem, right? But which triangle are you using? 1, 2, or the big triangle 3? Right. Good. Big triangle 3. So if you look at the big triangle 3, here is 11.2, here is 14.8, and here we can do. We can find x underneath it. And if you know the whole length, can you find the small length? Yeah. Right? Go ahead and try now. And then try RTW. Right? Then try RTW. Answers coming already, so hurry up. Right, but I said they have been. So, but you can't just find triangle two. Single terra, but triangle two is not right angle. Right? Triangle two is not right angle. Right? And triangle one, you don't have enough information. Right? So you should have the first part finished already. So that will be 14.8 squared is 11.2 squared plus the whole length, right? That's RT plus RT squared. And then we've got RT. That's 14.8 squared minus 11.2 squared. Square root the whole thing. I work it out all at once, right? But you can just try it across. Right? I got for RT, I got I got 9.67, right? And remember RS we want. So that'll be 9.67 minus 6, which is 3.67. Okay? So you see in these questions, what will make it hard is you have to go back and figure out now what's all the angle. I mean, which rule we use it. Right? So that's the objective today is really to figure out which rule to use. Right? So nice. 3.67, most people got that. Very good. Right, go on to the next part now. The next part of the angle what? Go on and find listen. Right, nice. 3.67. Next one is to find the angle. I erasing this, huh? Next is to find the angle RTW. RTW, that's here. And we just found something. Oh, just found this whole thing. It's 6.7 and here is 3.7. Hurry up, find theta. See what triangle if you're going to use to find theta. Big triangle or triangle 2. Give me a minute. Try it quick. Right? Which triangle are you using to do that? Huh? The big triangle, very good. We can use the big triangle. And we have opposite and hypotenuse. Okay, opposite and hypotenuse. Can we also use sine rule? Yes. Because watch this. We have 90. So I am going to use sine rule and show you this figure and get the same answer. We have 90 opposite length, angle, opposite length. So we could also use sine rule. Not opposite over hypotenuse, we could actually use the sine rule. Okay? Copy it down, we'll try the next one and then we'll stop properly. So what we're doing next week, Wednesday, is we are going to do bearings. And then apply the rules after. Please don't forget the rules. Right, let's go. So I am going to use sine rule, right? So I am going to use 14.8 over sine theta is equal to 11.2, sorry, that should be 90. 11.2 sine theta. Cross multiply 14.8 sine theta is 11.2 sine 90. Right? Usual steps, carry across the 14.8. And then carry across theta. So that is sine inverse 11.2 over 14.8. And that should give you the same answer if you use the trig ratios as well. Right? I got around, without rounding off, I got around 49.2 degrees. Right? That's how most people got that, right? But close state. Based on if you round off or not. Right, very good. Not bad. All right, let's squeeze in one more now. Okay, you have to figure out which rules, right? But again, I want to point out to you that you can use sine rule for questions like this, right? Right, but it's easier to remember right angle triangles using right angle triangle rules. Non-right angle using non-right angle triangle. Okay. Let's try again. One more. Last one, right? Hold on. Last one here. Find RS. Use one already? No. Find RS, use the right rule, and then QTS. I like this one. Be careful with QTS, huh? Hurry up. Try that in. Right, just to make sure you're doing it right, RS is which rule? I pick somebody online, RS is which rule earlier? RS, very good, sine rule, very good. And therefore QTS is what? Which rule? As well, which rule is QTS? To find the angle up here. You have more lengths than angles, so which rule is that?
Cosine.
Cosine, very good, cosine. Right, hurry up, I'm giving you a minute.
So for the first one, and since all angles in a triangle add up to 180, you could just add up the two angles and minus it from 180.
To get, yeah, but remember you want a length, part one you mean?
Oh yeah. Never mind, never mind.
Yeah, part one is a length. Right, so girl said part one is sine rule. That's correct. You want to find here, right? That'll be x over sine 48 is why it's not showing up there. Why do you write it not showing? It's up on there, right? What just happened there? what screen you're seeing there? I'm gonna then and I show up and
So we still seeing the same question. We still seeing the same question.
Okay, I just gonna remove it because something went wrong there. I not seen it in my. Right. So you might be able to see it better here, right? So if you look here now, we have to find x. So that will be x over sine 48 is equal to 7 over sine 60. Cross multiply x sine 60 is 7 sine 48. And then carry across sine 60, you'll get 7 sine 48 over sine 60. And you finish. Right, I got around 6.01 meters. Yeah. Here, you have 3 lengths and the angle in the middle, so cosine rule. So remember, you have to pay attention to which one is on the outside. Remember, this is a cosine rule formula. This and this must be opposites. So since I want to find theta, I am going to write 7 on the outside, 10 here, 8 here, 2 by 10 by 8 cosine theta. Right? And I showed you all how to work this out piece by piece, right? This is 49, this is 100, this is 64, and this is 160. Right? Move across this, move across the 49. So you'll get 160 cos theta. This is minus. When you move it across, it becomes plus. And here you have 164 and move across 49. Okay? So cosine theta is equal to 164 minus 49 over 160. And then you find cosine inverse, right? It's exactly like the last set of questions I gave you all last Wednesday, I think. Last Wednesday. All right? How much is this? This is 115. Right? So that'll be 44.44 degrees, right? 44 degrees. All right? So that is how we use the sine rule and cosine rule. All right? Your objective now